Some people fight so much that they forget what it's like to live in peace. They no longer feel fear, tremble with pain, or hesitate in the face of violence. Because when the body and brain adapt to chaos, violence stops being something that happens. It becomes part of who the person is. But what exactly happens inside the body and mind of someone who lives in constant conflict? This video will show you what science has uncovered about the effects of repeated fighting, whether it's professional or for survival. The first reaction to violence is instinctive: tension, racing heart, shallow breathing, a surge of adrenaline. The body prepares to flee or fight. But when confrontations become frequent, the body realizes this emergency mode can't last. The skin toughens. Muscles stop reacting with spasms. Nerves begin to adapt. Experienced fighters, for example, develop a gradual desensitization of the face, with micro damage to nerves that dulls the sensation of pain. What was once suffering becomes mere data: where the blow landed, how hard, where it came from. The brain changes too. The amygdala, which triggers the fear response, starts working in sync with the motor cortex. The body learns to react quickly, even under threat. Where there was once hesitation, now there's action. The survival instinct becomes a technical reflex. Fighting becomes routine. Over time, something even deeper happens. Fear, which once alerted the body to danger, begins to fade. The amygdala becomes less sensitive. The limbic system, which regulates emotions like anger, empathy, and panic, adjusts. The body stops pumping out as much adrenaline. The heart no longer races. The brain accepts that fighting isn't an exception anymore. It's just another day. For high-level athletes, this is an advantage. A calm, composed fighter thinks more clearly. They read their opponent's movements, choose their strikes, and anticipate reactions. While their opponent acts on impulse, they act with precision. But this composure comes at a cost. When fear fades, empathy often weakens too. These two emotions are processed in nearby brain regions, so when one is dulled, the other is affected. Violence becomes a tool, and resolving everything with shouts or fists starts to feel like a practical solution. The prefrontal cortex, which governs judgment and morality, loses influence to more primitive brain regions. The reptilian brain, responsible for instinctive reactions, takes over. The result? A more direct, aggressive, impulsive demeanor. What was once a reaction becomes an identity. The greatest impact of fighting isn't visible. It happens silently inside the brain. With repeated blows, even minor ones, the hippocampus begins to shrink. The frontal lobe wears down. Connections between areas responsible for self-control, memory, and decision-making erode. This has a name: chronic traumatic encephalopathy, CTE. It's a condition that affects many fighters, American football players, and even soldiers. It doesn't appear overnight. It's slow, and it's dangerous. Symptoms include sudden mood swings, frequent forgetfulness, difficulty speaking, loss of empathy, and uncontrollable impulsivity. In advanced cases, the person becomes unrecognizable, even to those closest to them. Muhammad Ali experienced this. Freddie Roach did too. And Mike Tyson has publicly stated that, without fighting, he doesn't know who he is. The most chilling part? He said it calmly, with a serene look in his eyes. In the ring, there are rules, referees, gloves. But what about outside it? On the streets, fighting is a language. A gesture, a glance, a stance. Everything communicates threat, strength, readiness. Those who master this language survive. Those who don't get hurt. For people raised in violence, the body learns to seek out conflict. Not out of malice, but because it's in the risk that they feel alive. This gives rise to what's called reverse post-traumatic stress. Instead of avoiding trauma, the body craves it. It needs the adrenaline to function. It's an addiction without a substance. The brain associates chaos with clarity and tranquility with boredom. These individuals create conflict even where there is none. Without realizing it, they self-sabotage to recreate the environment their bodies know best. There's no exact number, but science offers clues. 1 to 5 real confrontations. Fear diminishes. Anxiety decreases. Confidence grows. 2 to 3 sessions a week for months. The nervous system recalibrates. Less adrenaline, less stress. More impulsivity, more reactivity. Years of repetition. The changes become damage. The brain structure alters. Behavior becomes erratic. Identity blurs. These changes aren't limited to professional fighters. Young people in violent neighborhoods, security guards, police officers, and even those in abusive relationships experience this cycle. Because the brain doesn't distinguish between sport and survival, it responds to what's repeated. The body can endure more than we imagine. It adapts to pain, to blows, to stress. But the mind, it doesn't always keep up. Fighting can be an art. It can be a discipline. It can even be healing. But when it becomes routine, it turns into reflex. And if that reflex isn't controlled, it defines you. When someone fights so much that they no longer feel fear, empathy, or pain, they're not just defending themselves against the world. They're defending themselves against their own emptiness. And that's the real danger. You become what you practice every day. And violence, when practiced for too long, stops being an action and becomes an identity. If this content sparked any reflection, subscribe to the channel. Here we talk about human behavior, science, and everything that happens when the mind is pushed to its limits. And if you want to keep this conversation going, the comments are open.